Good morning, students. I welcome you to our next chapter class in English in 9th class. So I hope you all are okay and happy and safe at home. Some students are coming in the school regularly, so I hope that all the students will come regularly from next few days, so that their studies can be started again and revision can be started. There are only few 3 or 4 chapters remaining, so we will try to complete those chapters, and then we are going to have our revision for this year, because after 2-3 chapters revision will be started and you all are welcomed, and I hope you all will come to school. So some students are coming regularly, they are having good study time, they are having their doubts cleared. So I also hope from you that please come and clear your doubts and come regularly in school. Okay, so in today's class we have this moment book. Moments book, chapter number 8 we are going to discuss, and this chapter is a house is not a home. So a house is not a home because home and house have some difference. Home is made of bricks and cement, wood, plastic, iron, anything else you can take to build a house, but it becomes home when we start living in this building. You have a house number, not a home number. House is a building, but home is a place where a family lives. That is a big difference between those things. So let's start the chapter. This story reflects the challenges of being a teenager and the problem of growing up. How does the author overcome his problems? So this story is about being a teenager and growing up and trying to solve your problems. My first year, this writer is there describing his life in narrative. My first year of high school felt awkward. Awkward means it was very difficult for him in school. After being junior high at the head of my class with all the seniorities, the upper grade levels could afford me. I felt stress starting over as a freshman. The school was twice as big as my old school, and to make matters worse, my closest friends were sent to a different high school. I felt very isolated. So the writer is talking about the next class. He passed the 8th class. He went into the 9th class. In 9th class, he started his studies and he changed his school. And after changing his school in 9th class, he lost all his friends, because his friends were gotten admission in other schools and he was not able to have them with him in that school in which he was starting his next schooling. So he was not able to have them, and that's why he was really disturbed, and it makes worse. Isolated, isolated. There's the word. Isolated. It means feeling no home. Nobody is with you emotionally, practically, and personally. Nobody is helping you. You have lost them because of some other reasons of studies. So I missed my old teachers so much that I would go back and visit them. They would encourage me to get involved in school activities so that I could meet new people. So they always encouraged me that I should forget old school friends. I should start my new friends, acquaintances. I should start playing in the games and having participation in activities so that I can make them friends. Told me that in the time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school more than I had my old one. So I will start loving my new school more than the old one, because if I start making friends in the new school. That made me promise that when that happened, I would still come by and visit them from time to time, and I promised that I will keep visiting them. I understood the psychology in what they are saying. I took some comfort in it nonetheless. Still, I don't understand the psychology of what they are saying. I will forget the old friends when I'm going to have the new school. But fantastically, that is a wonderful idea, because somewhere you have to forget the old school and join the new school and have some new friends there. This is natural. You have to do this. Otherwise, you cannot survive in this world. You have to forget other old things and start loving new things. That is the law of nature. Okay. On Sunday afternoon, not longer after I had started high school, I was sitting at home in our dining room table doing homework. It was a cold and windy day, fall day, and we had a fire going in our fireplace. As usual, my red tabby cat was lying on the top of my papers, purring loudly. Purring means this is purr. Purr is a cat sound. Purr is cat sound. Purring means purr, sound of the cat. It was making sound while lying on the top of all the papers, purring loudly and occasionally swatting at my pen for entertainment sake. There is the word swatting. Swatting means disturbing. It was disturbing me that it was like this. I have a pen in my hand. It was with his paws, just doing this, that I was not able to do anything with my pen. My pen for entertainment sake. It was having some entertainment because of this. She was never far from me. I had rescued her when she was a kitten. Kitten, you know kitten? Kitten is baby cat. Kitten is baby cat. When she was a baby cat, it was a baby cat. I took him from a fireplace and got it at home. Keep the house nice and so. And somehow she knew that I was the one responsible for giving her a good life. Because of me, it got a good life. My mother kept stoking the fire and keep the house nice and warm. Suddenly I smelled something strange. My mother kept stoking. Stoking means creating fire again and again, burning the fire again and again in the earth. And then I noticed smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. Seams of the ceiling from the under part of the roof, ceiling. Some smoke was there. I thought, what is this? Then I look out and found there is smoke. I think there is fire in our house. So he was surprised. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. Barely means very difficult. It is very difficult for him to see there. Groping our way to the front door, we all ran out into the front yard. By the time we made our outside, the whole roof was engulfed in flames. Engulfed means, engulfed? Engulfed. Here, engulfed means filled with. Engulfed means filled with. Sorry. Engulfed. The whole room was filled with smoke. In the flames means in fire, and it was spreading quickly. I ran to the neighbors to call the fire department. While I was, my mother ran back in the house. My mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents. Because when there is a fire in a house, it is always important that you first of all you take out your important documents, because they will be needed when something bad happens to your family. She dropped the case on the lawn and raised it and ran back into the house. I knew what she was after my father had died when I was young, and I was certain that she was not going to let his picture and letters to go up in flames. They were the only thing that she had to remember him by. So I screamed at her, Mom, no. She was getting all the important things, documents, clothes and important pictures of his father out of the house and to the ground outside. Because in fire, it is obvious thing that when someone's house is on fire, then we took out important things out of the house and put them in the ground safely, then run back and get other things. I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand hold me back. It was a fireman. I was also trying to go into the house, but I suddenly then received our fireman. I had not even noticed that the street had already filled with fire trucks. I was trying to free myself from his grasp, yelling, "You don't understand, my mother is there." I was, grasp means grasp. This is, I think, grasp. Grasp in catcher. It was caught. Grasp means to hold something, to catch something. He was holding with his hand and yelling. Yell means cry. Yell? Yell is cry. I was yelling said that please stop, let me go to my mother, she is in house. He had to on to me while other firefighters ran into the house. He knew that I was not acting very logically, and then if he were to let go, I would run. He was right. It is all right, they will get her. He told me that firemen are inside the house now. You do not need to go there, you will be in danger. You please come out of the system and they will handle the situation. You please come out. He wrapped a blanket around me and sat me down in our car. Soon after that, a fireman emerged from our house with my mom in tow. Tow means any, you can say, cloth covered so that she is not in danger of fire. He quickly took her over. Students, 10-second break. And he quickly took her over the trunk and an oxygen mask on her. I ran over and hugged her. All those times I ever argued with her and hated her vanished at the thought of losing her. I was shouting on my mother, why are you going in the fire? And because of that, my mother was in danger. But still, I lost that thing and I stopped fighting with my mother and crying on her for anything else like this. She is going to be okay, said the fireman. She just inhaled a little smoke. Inhaled means getting inside. Inhale. Inhale is getting inside. In breath. While breath, but in breath. When you are breathing, you get something inside, that is inhale. And exhale, you lose the breath outside your mouth. So, she is going to be okay, said. I sat there dazed. I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. My house was burning and I was not able to do anything. That is really bad thing for anyone in the world, that his house is burning and is not able to stop that. 5 hours later, fire was finally out. Our house was almost completely burned down. But then it struck me. I had not seen my cat. Where was my cat? Much of my horror, I realized that she was nowhere to be found. Then all at once it hit me. The news caught the fire of my cat. I broke down in tears and cried and cried. I was suffering loss big time. The biggest loss he was feeling because of that was the cat. He was not having an idea about where was his cat. He was not so surprised by the fire at house. The biggest loss he felt at that time was the loss of the cat. It was its favorite pet animal at home. Okay. The fireman would not let us go back into the house that night. I was still too dangerous. Dead or alive, I could not imagine living without knowing about my cat. Regardless, I had to go. Anything happened, I have to go there. I have to find my cat. We piled into the car with just the clothes of our backs and a few of firemen's blankets and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. The next morning, Monday, I went to school. When the fire broke out, I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning, but I had no shoes. I had kicked them off when I was doing my homework. I had no shoes at that time. That's the big thing. He was wearing the dress, he went into church. So he had no shoes now. So what is going to wear in the morning time in the school? He has no dress because all the house got fire and everything was just burned down in the fire, and he had no idea what to wear. His dress, school uniform was also burned down, and that is the problem with him. I was doing my homework. They became yet another casualty of the fire. Casualty means victim. Casualty means victim. Victim means shikar, prey. They became prey because I just put off the shoes at home and it was in fire, so they just went down in that thing. So I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. Why could not I just stay home from school? My mother would not hear of it, but I was totally embarrassed by everything. Embarrassed, feeling shy by everything. The clothes I was wearing looked weird. Weird means strange. Okay? That's a nice question. Weird. Weird means strange. I was looking strange. Because everyone is wearing the school uniform and you are not wearing that, it will surely show that you are looking somewhere strange. So, next point. I had no books, homework, my backpack was gone. I had my life in that backpack. The more I tried to fit in, the worse I got in that new dresses. When I destined to be an outcast and a geek all my life, that is what it felt like. Outcast and geek. Outcast. You know, outcast is also less value. If something gets less value, it is not properly maintained, it has no honor and respect. And geek is also strange. Okay? Geek is also strange. You can say azib. Amazing. That is what I felt. I did not want to grow up, change, or have to handle life. It was going to be this way. I just wanted to curl up and die. I walk around school like a zombie. Zombie. You know, zombie? Yes. I think you must know zombie. Zombie, dull and apathetic person. Okay? Dull person. Because it is described in this chapter. No issues. Zombie is there. Okay. That is what it felt like. I did not want to grow up, change, or handle. I just wanted to go. I walked around school like zombie. Everything felt surreal. Surreal is the word. Surreal is also strange. Here, strange word is used so many times. Do you know why strange word has been used so many times? There is only one reason, because his house has gotten fire. He has nothing to have, wear or use. So he is looking strange. Everything is strange for him. His dress up, his pen, pencil, his bag or his books, strange. Everything. I was not sure what was going to happen. All the security I had known from my school, my friends, my house, and my cat had all been ripped away. Ripped monthly had gone. When I walked through what used to be my house after school, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. Whatever had not burnt was destroyed by the water and the chemicals they had used to put out the fire. The only material thing not destroyed were the photo albums, documents, some other personal items that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. My mother, like a hero, had rescued some things, but my cat was gone and my heart ached for it. There was no time to grieve. My mother yelled out, we would have to find a place to live in, and I would have to go buy some clothes for school. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there were no credit cards, cash, or even any identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in smoke. So they had no idea how to get money, what to do. Everything was gone in smoke. That week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. That week, his house was clear. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clearly over debris. Debris is, debris. Debris is, you can say, when a building is destroyed. Malba, you can say Malba. Okay? You can say dust and stones. You can say that is the remaining part of a lost and destroyed building. Next is, Hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found, she was gone. I kept thinking about her as the vulnerable little kitten. Vulnerable means that can be hurt, that can be easily killed or destroyed and disturbed. In the early morning when I was disturbed her and get out of the bed, she would tag along with me, climb up my robe and crawl into my pocket, for as if I was missing her terribly. So he was missing his cat terribly. Okay. It always seems that bad news spread quickly, and in my case it was no different. Everyone in high school, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. It was embarrassed as if someone I was responsible. What a way to start. Okay, students, sorry for some disturbance here. The next, embarrassed if as someone I was responsible. Everyone was looking at me like that. I was responsible for everything. What a way to start off a new school. This was not the kind of attention I was looking for. The next day at school, people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were milling around me. Milling around means people were gathering around me. They were asking me questions about my film, asking me to hurry up. I thought it strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. It almost seemed that they were trying to show me they were getting me into the gym. Then I show why. There was a big table set up with all kinds of stuff on it, just for me. They had taken up a collection and bought me some supplies. So his friends helped him with some supplies. And what was there? They had taken up a collection and bought some notebooks, all kind of different clothes, jeans, tops, sweatshirts. It was like Christmas. I was overcome by emotion. People who had never spoke to me before were coming up to me to introduce themselves. I got all kind of invitations to their house. Their genuine outpouring of concern really touched me. So his friends were concerned about him. In that instant, I finally breathed a sign of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay, and I made friends that day. So all the friends helped me very much. They were happy, and I was really happy that I got few things that were needed for my studies. A month later, I was at my house watching the Empire build, but this time it was different. I was not alone. I was with two of my new friends from school. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. Now I was sitting and watching my house being rebuilt, and when I realized my life was doing the same thing. So at that stage, he saw that his house was being built in, everything was getting okay, and he was doing some good things, and he is remembering all the things very good so that things can be done very well and okay. See, he was trying very well. And a month later, while we sat there in the car planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up me from behind and say, "Does this belong to you?" When I returned around to see who it was, I could not believe my eyes. A woman was standing there holding my cat. I leapt up and grabbed her out of the woman's arms. I held her close to me and cried into the beautiful orange fur. So fur means coat. Fur, fur is coat. Coat is the upper part, body part of a cat. So one day I was looking that my house was being built, and what I saw was a strange thing. A lady brought my cat and thought it is my cat, and I was happy. I was really happy by that. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat and jumping around. Apparently my cat had been so freaked by the fire that she ran over a miles away. Her collar had our phone number on it, but our phone had been destroyed and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in, worked hard to find out whose cat it was. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and surely missed. As I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all the overwhelming feeling of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. Diminish means erased, khatam ho jana kisi cheez ka. I felt gratitude for my life. Gratitude means thankful. By my new friends, the kindness of a stranger, and loud purr of my beloved cat. My cat was back and so was I. My cat was back and so was I. Because without the cat, he was not able to enjoy his life, his own. He was not happy. He was feeling very sad. So that's why he thought that he was missing his cat very much. So students, this was the chapter. We will do the questions after 10 seconds. Let's I drink some water. Okay, students, let's do some questions. This is simple story. A boy's house was burnt down. He was not able to save everything. He lost also his cat, but at last he was able to save. Somebody got his cat and returned it to it, and he was very happy at last. So, what does the author notice on one student? One student afternoon, author noticed that his house was on fire. There was smoke in the house, and it was on fire. What is his mother reaction? He was very in hurry and started doing something to save the house. What does she do? She put out all important things from the house in the ground and tried to save everything. Why does he break down in tears after the fire? He broke down in tears after the fire because he had lost his favorite cat. His pet. It was like a family member for him. Why is the author deeply embarrassed at the next day in school? He was deeply embarrassed at the next day in school because he lost his school dress, shoes, books, bag, all the important things in his school needed, and it made him disturbed. Which words show his fear and insecurity? Geek, zombie, and outcast are the words that show his insecurity. The cat and the author are very fond of each other. How has this been shown in the story? This has been shown in the story because in the past he had saved this cat from some difficult times. He loved it, he enjoyed with it. It was like a family member of him. And after the house was fire, he sometimes missed it very badly. What actions of the schoolmates change the author's understanding of the life of people and comfort him emotionally? The action of the students, they helped him by giving him some clothes, sweatshirts, some food, some books, some pencils, bags. So all the things used, they provided him that made his life changed. How does this loneliness vanish and how does he start participating in life? This loneliness vanished after he made few people friend and also he started participating in life because of the cat. What is the meaning of my cat was back and so was I? The meaning of my cat was back and so was I is that because without cat he was not feeling well at home, and after the cat's return he felt very good and that made him very very happy. Had the author gone anywhere? Why does he say that he is also the author had gone in his uncle's house, he lived there, but after some time he got his cat and he was happy. So students, this was our chapter and these are the questions important. Let's wait for 10 seconds to finish it. This is a very simple story. The story is a house and not a home. In this story, there is a boy. His house is on fire. He is not able to save his house, but his mother saved a few important things, and that also helped him very much. And because of this, he was happy, and it was a good move by him that he saved a few things. He was missing his cat very much, and because of missing his cat, he was not able to live properly, study properly. He lost his whole documents, dresses, shoes, school uniforms, and his friends helped him very much. They provided him the most important things for him as a school student, and all the dresses, shoes, and that. And one day he was missing his cat very much, and then a lady brought it back. She found a telephone number on its collar, but the telephone was burnt out in the fire. So she thought it was really missed very much. So she, by some hard work, brought this to the writer. The writer was really happy because of this. He felt really good and nice because of this cat. So students, I hope this chapter you enjoyed very much. And I hope from tomorrow onwards you will come to school regularly. The buses may start running in your cities and towns and villages in few days. I am not saying that it is from 15, but from 1st of November, I am expecting that buses will start running, and I am hopeful that you will come to school, but just for 10-15 days. Please try hard and come in the school so that you can have your study in better way. You can learn a lot of things, and it is very important for you that you learn those things. So this is expected from you. So I hope students you enjoyed this chapter very much, and it is very interesting chapter. You learn a lot of things. When somebody's house is on fire, you can learn a lot of things regarding this. It is really a big issue for anyone else in the world when their house is on fire. So I hope students you will do better. You will enjoy this chapter. You will get involved in studying in next few days. You will start studying and coming to school. This is very important for you. And I hope for your betterment and for better future, better results. Really come to school and enjoy your studies. Thank you very much, students.